Right, hello everyone. Today I am joined by Shiv. Shiv, how's it going, mate?
Yeah, Sam, mate, how are you?
Really good. I got you back on about a year ago. We did a video with Tom, didn't we? And that was just before we played Man City. So I thought, do it again. We got Man City Monday. We won last year. Can we win this year? There's the question.
Maybe, yeah. Maybe,
Maybe. Anyway,
yeah.
we've got. There's only one place to start. I texted you earlier to do this video, and I just
Yeah.
wanted to talk about Stoke. I wanted to talk about other things, but we cannot not talk about what's just happened on Twitter in the last hour or so. Jota's going to Liverpool, mate. What do you think? What do you think?
Mental. Like, yeah, like you said, we chatted about having this call this morning, and we are going to talk about like other shit really, but this is
Yeah,
just mental. Like, this has come because there were loads of people like nattering on about it yesterday or something because obviously him not. Well, he showed up to Molyneux and then he left or something yesterday.
yeah,
And obviously there were people saying like it could be personal stuff, whatever, but turns out it might be him on his way to Liverpool. And that's exactly what it looks like he is. So like, yeah,
yeah. I think
um,
I might be wrong on this. I think Joe Edwards said it was to do his baby reveal. I think people that's what they thought he left, didn't they? Because he weren't involved in the
yeah,
squad. But I honestly, when I first saw it drop earlier, I think Talking Wolves put it on from like a journalist called Paul Young. I might be wrong on that. And I was
yeah.
like, no way, like this is rubbish. This is like rumor mill. But 35 million, mate. Do you think that's is that like worth it? Do you think he's worth
Um,
35 million? Do you think you wanted more?
I think 35 mil is about right. It's like seeing
Yeah,
as apart from the Europa League and a couple of games here and there, he wasn't like fantastic last season.
mm.
Obviously he's given us loads of memories. United in the FA Cup, Chelsea, Villa in the promotion season. But yeah, if Nuno and even he feels like it feels like he needs to go, then 35 is like I'd say it's a pretty good
Yeah. I
amount.
see.
To be fair, yeah,
He was quoted as saying he wants Champions League football, wasn't he? But I'm quite shocked still. He's like really fresh. He hasn't gone through yet at time of recording, but I think it will. But I love him. I think if he could be consistent over a whole season, we probably wouldn't have kept. Well, we're not keeping hold of him anyway, by the sounds of it. But he'd have probably gone a bit sooner. But he's been a great player for us, hasn't he? Let's be honest. You just mentioned a few there, but
yeah.
if he can find that consistency, he's only 23. I think Liverpool are going to have a right player on their hands. Whether he gets into their starting lineup, I don't know. How's he going to fit in there with the players they've got?
Exactly, because I've been saying that's like Klopp is an amazing coach. Obviously, probably arguably one of the best, well, arguably the best in the league right now.
Mm.
So with Jota being 23, he could be an absolute demon. He could turn him into some kind of maniac. Honestly, like he could be
Yeah,
crazy. But
unreal.
yeah, how does he fit in? I'm not sure because we play him off obviously the left wing or through the middle.
Mm.
Um, unless he's like a direct replacement for like Mane or something. Because there's always murmurs about Salah or Mane leaving, but we don't really know,
Yeah.
do we? So yeah,
And with the first game against Sheffield United, when Neto and Pedence started, I think everyone just put it down to fitness, didn't they? No one really put two and two together, and obviously not being in the squad against Stoke. But I'm shocked, mate. I can't believe it. I thought he was like Nuno's love child as well, Jota. But
yeah, literally, that's all we ever say. And it's like,
yeah,
yeah, Jota's always going to start. Jota's always going to come on. There's no way he isn't. And
and
here we
what
go.
also what surprised me a little bit just before we come on, I've been looking on Twitter and that a lot of Wolves fans seem really understanding about it, don't they? Like, I'm quite
Yeah,
gutted about it, but 35 million, it's one of them where you're like, how much did we sign him for? It's about 12, 13, wasn't it? Something like
12, yeah,
that.
like,
So
yeah,
we've
no way
made
over 15, I think. Yeah,
yeah,
so
we're nearly tripling. Well, not quite tripling our money, but sad to see him go. But we've got Neto, we've got Pedence. We might bring someone else in, and also Shiv. Literally, I can't pronounce this name, so you might have to help me. That Key Jana, is it Hoover or however?
Kia, Kia,
However,
uh, it's I think it's Keanu Holver, I think it
yeah,
is.
that
Yeah,
sounds about right.
yeah,
Good job you're here, mate.
yeah.
Fucking hell. Yeah, so he's a right wing back, young lad. He hasn't made many appearances, but what was quite good to see is a lot of Liverpool fans looked really disappointed when they saw that news. Do you know anything about it? Because I don't, to be honest. I think I saw him in the
Um,
FA Cup, but that's about it.
yeah. So he was. I think he was 16 at the time when we
Mm,
played them in the FA Cup. Came on for Lovren when he got injured, I think. Um,
yeah.
he's. I've been reading reports, and apparently he can play centre back and
Oh wow.
right back, but does prefer right wing back. Which is obviously it's good for us. Um,
100%.
is he a starter? I don't know because he's only 18 and he's a kid.
That's the problem. I think that's what the
yeah,
worry is, isn't it? Like 18 years old, is he going to come in and start straight away? Probably not. And we need one, don't we? Because is Oscar Burr capable of starting? He can't be,
exactly.
surely. And we saw what
I don't
Adama was like against
exactly.
Stoke. So,
Yeah.
and there's also another one. But yeah, I'm like talking walls here, mate. Is it Samido, right back from Barca? No idea what he's
Yeah,
like either. Is he good?
he got absolutely dusted by Bayern, but that's a whole different level, isn't it? But
Mm.
Semedo is meant to be he's meant to be like top notch, isn't he? So I mean he's from Barca, so you wouldn't expect anything less to be able, would you? So
Exactly, yeah.
yeah, he's
But
meant to be
we definitely need a right wing back. Out of the
100%.
two, well, I think that the other lad you mentioned, Hoover, I think he seems the more likely, don't he? But we do need one. Maybe there was someone saying on Twitter, another journalist saying that might be part of the Jota deal, but how true that is, I've got no idea.
Yeah.
So overall, then with the Jota one, going back on that, you're content with it? You're not like gutted? You think you're content
Yeah,
with
it's
that move?
just not that he's been in a decline, but he's sprung up here and there. But we know how streaky he is. It's just on and off. Sometimes he'll score hat tricks like he did like against Besiktas and stuff. Sometimes he'll just do absolutely nothing. Plus, coming off the wing, he isn't fantastic. We can all admit that. Like as a winger, Podence and Neto, I'd say, are better players.
100%, yeah.
So,
But it's when he plays with a two with Raul, isn't it? Like they used to link well
exactly.
together. I think the last time I remember him playing quite well was before lockdown against Spurs, wasn't it? After lockdown, he wasn't very good, was he, Jota, at all?
Yeah, I can't really like. I don't know if you want to count him versus Everton. Like I don't know. Maybe that was alright.
Yeah, he was
Yeah,
all right
probably
then,
not.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
But we're losing out on a lot of goals, aren't we? 'Cause I know he scored a lot of them in the Europa League, but it's still a lot of
yeah.
goals to fill, isn't it? We need to. Do you reckon we'll bring another winger in or not?
We've been linked to that Pepe lad from Gremio.
Yeah,
From
I have seen
Brazil.
that pop up
Yeah,
on Twitter. Yeah.
linked to him. There's always these like really loose links to like Saar from Watford and stuff, but
Yeah,
I don't know.
I've seen some Liverpool fans saying they would prefer him to Jota
Yeah,
on Twitter. So, mate, I don't think we'd go in for him, would we? Wolves, Saar from
probably
Watford.
probably not, but you
No.
never know. We don't know anything until like a day before it's happening, do we? So
Yeah.
never
Well,
know.
anyway, mate, crazy. At time of recording, like I say, it hasn't happened yet, but by the time this goes out, he probably will be a Liverpool player.
Yeah,
Which this window, mate, how random's it been? Like when Doherty left, I was like, what's going on? And then we had like Fabio Silva come in. It's just been a weird window, hasn't it? It's been surprising.
really has. Mendes pulling the strings.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Another thing that dropped as well, mate. Do you like the kit? The new Portugal third kit?
I really do. I kind of regret.
Oh, you do, yeah? I thought you were going to say you didn't then. I really thought you were going to say.
No, I really do. It's the same with the away kit. I know loads. I think you and loads of others just think
Yeah,
it's shit.
because you
But,
like it, don't you? You like it,
yeah, I
right?
really do. Yeah, yeah, I really. I just think it's different, and it's one of those kits in about 15 years. It'd be a classic. I think you could sell it for like 200-300 quid in about.
Yeah. Like the Tyre Mart one from the early 90s. That
Yeah,
similar
exactly,
to that.
exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. Now,
Yeah.
I'm still not convinced on the away one, the white one, but I probably will end up getting it for the reasons you just said. 10 years might be a collector's item. And even people were saying, wasn't they, who hated it, when they saw like Fabio Silva and that wearing it, it changed their mind. But
Yeah.
still, for me, it didn't. But,
The shirts always look better on the players than they do
they
on
100% do. But why they didn't just put the blue over the shoulders? If they just put the blue over the shoulders, mate, I think I'd have liked it. It's just the weird cut off. It looks like it ain't complete. But yeah, so what did you like it instantly, or did it grow on you? You instantly liked it, yeah?
instant. I think literally I bought it within 10 minutes of it being announced.
Wow.
Literally like instant. Yeah.
So if you
yeah. Sorry,
if
go
you buy all three kits, that's like 150 odd quid this year. It's
on.
so
Yeah.
expensive.
Yeah. I haven't bought the away kit, but I am looking to buy the third, the maroon Portuguese kit. So
Oh mate.
that's 110 quid down the drain.
I did like the fact that I saw Elliot Hackney, you know, that he's like one of True Geordie's mates.
Yeah, yeah,
I seen he tweeted out like Wolves have just been like, fuck it, we are Portugal. Like, they're embracing
accepted
it.
it. I think
Yeah.
it's a really smart move from Wolves. To be fair, like with the away kit, it's kind of Marmite, so that's got people talking. And with this Portuguese kit, it's kind of we are Portugal and what? So it's like it's got
Exactly.
people talking as well.
Like
So,
obviously, there's a Mexico themed one last year, Portugal this year. It was bound to happen, wasn't it? And I do really like it. I saw some fans saying they don't like they've changed the colour of the badge, but I didn't mind that. I thought that really suited the kit. What did you think of that? Like the badge colour changing?
I think if it was just gold and black, I think it just would have looked
It wouldn't look
random
right.
on the kit. To be fair, yeah, it just wouldn't look right.
And,
So.
and also, it like hides the sponsor. Then because it's so dark, it like
It
hides
doesn't
the
it?
sponsor.
Yeah, it does. It looks even better like that. Yeah, it does. It looks better. Yeah.
100%. No, I love it. I'll definitely be getting that. Anyway, mate, I want to talk about the game last night. Did you catch it on a stream, or did it shut down like it happened to a lot of people?
Um, yeah, I watched like a good hour, 70 minutes of it.
Mm,
Then I caught, then it kind of cut off, and then I caught the goal at the end and stuff as well.
mate,
So
I paid the tenner like an idiot. What
they're,
on the stream you were watching? Did they have the commentator of the EFL one on his Todd?
they're really boring,
Oh my god, mate.
monotone.
Yeah, so the game was boring. He was sending me to sleep, but
Yeah,
we started quite a strong team, didn't we? And
yeah,
it's pretty embarrassing the way we got knocked out. Stoke, you could argue they had pretty much their B team out, didn't they? Stoke.
yeah. I mean, it was hard. It wasn't top tier, was it? So yeah,
What's frustrating for me is all Wolves fans obviously said yes, let's have a run in the League Cup, blah blah blah. And the way we lined up, I know we started Fabio Silva and Vinagre, blah blah blah, but it did seem like Nuno wanted to go for it as well, didn't it? So the fact
yeah,
we played the way we did, it was so frustrating. I don't know what you thought.
yeah. It was. I just feel like sometimes we have to play in that 3-5-2 with the three midfielders,
Mm.
but sometimes it just feels really, really defensive, which
Yeah.
is what I think happened yesterday. I don't know. I think we just lacked. Well, not even that we lacked anything. We just didn't finish, and we just didn't take our chances really.
Yeah,
Um,
sometimes you
and
do
it was
think. Tom used to say it, didn't he? He used to say, "Play 4-4-2 or something like that." You know, Nuno's not going to do it. When you're playing Stoke at home, and like we say, they made a lot of changes. Sometimes you just think, just go for it. Do you know what I mean? Put an extra body up there. Take one out of defence if you have to. Put four at the
yeah,
back.
like
But
yeah, if you're not gonna like just fully go for it, at least change it up, have a look. If no, then no, and yeah,
like we
yeah,
say, it's a strong team. Fabio Silva obviously had that poor miss in the second half from about 4 yards out of the back post. But what did you think of him overall? I think I saw Spears praising him. I thought he looked okay. He didn't pull up any trees, but everyone's going to remember that miss, aren't they?
yeah. I think Spears also he said something about like his holder play was good and
Mm,
stuff, which is what we need. That's like kind of the Raul mold. He just needs to clean up his finishing and stuff. But he's only 18, so and there's only so much we
exactly.
can expect from him. So like,
I
yeah,
said when he signed somewhere else, the 35 million tag on him. I think that just like sticks in people's minds. So they was
yeah,
expecting him to be absolutely unreal last night. You've got to give him time, haven't you? It's not fair to judge him off that one missed chance. But
yeah,
hope,
100%.
but he's not going to get another chance now, really, is he? Because obviously Raul's always going to start. We needed to have a good run in this competition to give the likes of him and Vitinha, but he looked quite tidy as well when you took him
He
in
did.
a chance. And I thought Vinagre was poor as well. I don't know what you thought of Vinagre.
Yeah, he just. I don't know what's happened to it. It's like I don't know if like Nuno sucked all the creativity and the attacking prowess out of him or something, but like
Yeah,
it's just like it's like he's too scared to go forward.
yeah. And
Yeah, that's
I,
why.
I was one pushing for him to start against Sheffield United as well. I really thought he'd start. I didn't think Mansell would. And the way Mansell played, it looks like a long road back for Vinagre to get in that
Pretty
starting
incredible.
position again.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because we went to Brighton, didn't we? Before the lockdown and stuff,
Yeah.
and even then, Vinagre, it was just the guy just kept running to the halfway line and then looking back and passing,
Mm.
and it's just I don't know what's happened to him, but yeah, Marcel, who looks like he's replaced him essentially.
He's
He
brilliant.
was amazing. It was pretty good.
Yeah, because that day against Brighton, I think against Spurs away, Vinagre, obviously he set up Doherty, but he had a bit of a shaky performance at the back, didn't he? So I think
Yeah,
against Brighton, he was probably under big instruction not to fly forward and
yeah,
whatever, stay back a bit. So yeah, he was poor that day, wasn't he? That was the last time he was in the ground, wasn't it? Can you believe that?
yeah. I know that's mental.
Oh god, crazy.
What a game! What a game!
Oh my, horrendous. But yeah, we've been knocked out. The goal, we've got to talk about it, mate. He got a lot of stick online. John Ruddy, what was he doing, mate? What was he doing?
He's high fiving because that's what he does. That is what Jonathan Woody does. He high fives.
He got stick online, and rightly so. Do you think his time at Wolves is done after something like that? He's made a lot of mistakes, hasn't he, when he's
Yeah,
played in cup competitions?
I think his time should have been done like after the semi.
Yeah, same.
Yeah.
Someone, I put like a jokey tweet out of like a gif of someone diving over the ball, and someone replied to me saying, "We need to form the John Ruddy Defence League so everyone can stick up for him." Because,
I'm
but
pretty
surely,
sure because sorry, it's just there were lots of people backing him as well on Twitter,
Mm.
as you know, and there will be, but yeah, I don't know. Yeah,
Well, we'll
sorry.
probably get onto it later. People get attached to players, don't they? They remember him from the
Yeah, yeah.
Championship, and he can do no wrong in some people's eyes, but that is so poor, isn't it? The way he just... Obviously, you've got to look at Traore as well. He was nowhere to be seen, but still, that is Sunday League goalkeeping, to be honest.
Yeah. Buddy, is he 32, 33 maybe? So even older than that?
Should be prime
someone
years
like him,
as a goalkeeper.
Exactly, like someone like him flapping at something like that is just... No, you can't do that. You just can't.
Shocking. He's never going to replace Rui, is he, at this rate? Absolutely shocking. Anyway, so that's out the way. Gutted. I wanted a cup run. We're not going to get one. City at home Monday. After that performance, do you give us any chance?
If Nuno kind of tells them to dust off and not really bother about it and kind of go off the league form, I know it's only Sheffield United that we've played, but, attack City with the same kind of prowess that we did against Sheffield United, then I reckon we have a chance. We definitely have a chance. There's talk about Laporte not being in because of him having to isolate because of COVID and stuff. So their defense is weak. No Aguero. So yeah, I think we've got every chance.
Yeah, I think we had loads of possession against Stoke, but our game where we're most effective for me is when we sit. And City are obviously going to come up at us, and we beat them twice last year for that reason, in my opinion, because we're just so good on the break, aren't we? Adama arguably had one of his best games right wing back away at their place against Sterling, so he'll probably start there again. But yeah, hopefully, mate, we can win, but it's a big ask, isn't it? Because it's their first game of the season. They're going to want to hit the ground running, aren't they?
Oh yeah, 100%. Because by the time they play us or our game happens, Liverpool will have already played 2 games and they could be 6 points ahead already.
Exactly.
They're going to want to catch up now.
What team would you start? He's going to change it up, do you reckon, from the Sheffield United one? Because that was quite a surprising team, wasn't it?
Yeah, it's the whole right wing back thing. It depends who we get in. If we do get that Semedo lad, he's played for Barca, he's experienced, then I think he could be slotted right in, because like Mansell, he didn't play any warm-up matches where he was straight in, which would push Adama up top. Right wing, sorry.
Yeah, he did well when he against Sheffield United when they eventually did push him up top. That run he went on, I know he should have passed, but that's his best position when Adama's at top and he can just run it up, especially on the break.
Yeah, exactly. Him and Raul just linking up a little bit, and him just literally just steaming at players. Really, that's his thing.
And I'll tell you who I am happy for as well. Just back on the Jota thing, I'm happy for Neto because if Jota does leave. What they say he has right now, he probably has. But Neto's going to get so much more game time, isn't he? I thought, it's going to be so good to see him. And Pedence, to be fair, because that was their
which they deserve.
Yeah.
Which they 100% deserve. Just because Jota might have been Nuno's favourite, it's not really fair on them, is it? Because they've been putting in the performances and they do deserve it, so fair enough to them.
Yeah, I don't know if you listened to the podcast every week, the 77 Club, we talked about Dark Horse and that, and I said Neto, even though he did shine, didn't he, last year, but now, I think even more now with Jota gone, I think he could become, I reckon he could be a contender for player of the season, Neto, definitely. What do you think?
Oh, if he cleans up his, if he actually, gets the shot on target here and there, Espanyol, and I think it was...
Oh my God, I forgot about that open goal.
Yeah, if he cleans that up, there's absolutely no, because he's young as well, so there's absolutely no reason why he couldn't be a world beater. Honestly, he could be class. He really could be.
Yeah, and Pedence as well. That run for the first goal when he skinned their defender, he looks sharp, doesn't he? He's centre of gravity, low centre of gravity. It's class.
Yeah, he's people call him this kind of Hazard, mini Hazard regen, kind of nippy, small little nippy winger, and I do kind of see it. And I think those are the kind of players we should be targeting. People players that are kind of 24, 25. Who have done it and are very good and that's a really
Yeah, definitely. And I was going to mention, Cody. So he obviously got called up for England now. What's your opinion on Cody these days? So I think we gave him a bit of a hard time last time we were on last year. What do you think? Are you happy he got called up for England? Do you think he's improving?
Oh, I'm happy for him, definitely. I was in the camp of what's the point in calling him up unless we play 3 at the back. But against, was it Denmark? He played well. He was commanding. He was the captain. Doesn't matter. It didn't matter who was wearing the armband at that point. It was Cody. He was shouting and screaming.
Kadirian, couldn't you?
Yeah, fully.
On the telly. Yeah, Bolly coming. I was just thinking back now. The Bolly coming to a bit of stick against Sheffield United as well. But I think that is the Adama effect, and we go back to it. We need a right wing back. Bolly's brilliant, But even him at his quality, he's going to be vulnerable, isn't he? If we don't get that right wing back strengthened.
Exactly, with the way Sheffield United play as well, with the whole overlapping. So you got like three players trying to attack just volley with the Dharma being static. We definitely need a right wing back, pretty much. Yeah.
Yeah, we'll see. Well, hopefully we can smash City on the counter and beat them 3-2 again. That'd be bloody lovely, wouldn't it? I said 2-0 to City on the podcast, and I think I'm going to stick to that, as negative as it is, and especially after Thursday.
That way.
Yeah, it's terrible. What score prediction would you go for if you had to say one for City?
Honestly, 2-2.
2-2, yeah.
Yeah, 2-2.
Because we're big underdogs, you know. We're really big underdogs. I think we can get it as like 6-1 to win, which is mad, really. Considering we beat them twice last year. Anyway, mate. So one of the main reasons, well, obviously we want to talk about Wolves, but one of the other reasons I wanted to get you on was I want to talk about football Twitter. You've got to educate me about this, mate, because I said to you just before we came on, I listened to the Jack Mate Happy Hour podcast, and he had Spencer on, who's like a big YouTuber, and he was on about football Twitter, and he said like a minority are like awful. What is it? So I know that people have their profile pictures as a player, call themselves something like "Finally Firmino" or something like that, and then they've got their own slang and that. So can you explain to me what it is? It's like a movement, and it's like a big thing on Twitter.
Yeah, it's you could call it a community, even though there's lots of infighting. I don't know. It's just, I want to say kids, but there are like adults who are a part of it as well. To be fair. But like, yeah.
That's the thing, mate. So they are young, because I thought they were quite young, but you never know, do you? I thought they were like, it seems like some of them are young, but there is actually like adults and that as well, yeah?
Yeah, and they'll just, they'll talk about football, and sometimes they'll talk sense. Most of the time they'll talk nonsense. And, you know, it'll just, they'll have like the little banter and they'll have a crack with each other, but obviously then you've got like people who are like older and stuff who just haven't got a clue what they're on about, and always end up in arguments with them and all this, so...
from my point of view, looking at it, I see it pop up every now and then, and I'd say the majority of it is class. Like, you know, I reckon it's weird with social media, mate, because like I'm 28. I don't know, how old are you, Shiv?
I'm 20.
20, yeah. So I'm 28. So when I was in like high school, so probably about 15, probably the most football Twitter people are probably that sort of age. Would you say maybe a bit older, 16, 17, whatever?
Yeah, probably like 14.
Social media is a weird thing, isn't it? Because back then, I had I don't want to sound like a bloody Yadar and whatever, Yadar, but like social media weren't about. You know what I mean? Like Twitter and that didn't exist. But I know for a fact I'd have been one of them and that. But the majority of what I see is class. They all interact, talk about football, blah. But it's like a minority. That's what Spencer FC said. They like gang up on people and shit like that, and shit like that. And probably in a few years to come, they probably will look back and think, shit, why did I do that? But it's a fascinating thing to me. But I think it's the hiding behind a profile picture and like mega abusing someone personally. I get the banter and that, I love that. But it's the personal attacks. What do you think of that? Did you see that a lot?
Yeah, of course we do. We see it all the time on social media. I think that's what it is, though. Yeah. They hide behind the profile picture and they'll have a go, won't they? Like, it is what it is. Should it be monitored more by Twitter and stuff? Yeah, of course. But I think that's a whole different like subject. But you'll have these kids who like obviously they want to they have their point. They like talking about football, and if someone doesn't agree, sometimes kids do it. They'll just like gang up on someone and bully someone until they kind of
I think it's a mad thing, and I think that Jack Mate said that one of the worst days of his life was when football Twitter found his old tweets and that, and he thought he was going to get cancelled and shit. Like they dive right back, don't they? And obviously, I mean, I sometimes when I'm on Facebook on my time hop and things pop up from like 2011, I'm like, oh my god, what was I talking about? So there's so much like they try and cancel people and shit like that. It's crazy, isn't it? I don't know what you think of that sort of stuff. Yeah,
cancelling that it ain't great, but
if it's online, isn't it? There's two sides of the argument. Yeah,
exactly. It's kind of like well, you've written it, but it's also like it was a long time ago. So like,
people change. Well, I think that's the thing that Spencer was getting at. Like a lot of the lads who are probably like 14, 15 on there now, when they're saying and doing these things, in about 5 to 10 years' time, they probably will look back and think, Jesus Christ, like what was I doing? But it's mad, isn't it? Because there's no filter on Twitter, is there? Anyone can make an account. There's no age verification or anything like that. But I don't want to be too negative about it because a lot of it's class. Like a lot of it pops in my mind. I'm quite entertained by it and that. Like it makes me laugh and shit. And
Yeah, exactly.
them lads as well. They're probably 10 times more knowledgeable than me about football. Well, I actually know they are. Do you know what I mean? Because it's their life.
Yeah.
It is when you're like 15, isn't it? But
Yeah,
yeah, I just wanted to talk about it because I kind of see it from the outside in. Like the profile picture thing. Is it I follow God, I forget his name. Is it WWFC Sam Banks? So I follow him, and when I first started following him, he had like a profile. He changed his profile picture to his face, and I seen him like talking to someone on there, and he'd share his face, and like it's like a big deal, isn't it? When they share their face, it's like a
face reveal. Yeah,
yeah,
exactly,
like they share their face. Everyone's like, "Oh my god!" Like they can't believe it, can they? But yeah, and it is a mad thing. But do you speak to him on there? Do you? Sam, that's WFC Sam.
Yeah, occasionally I speak to like obviously it comes with being on Twitter. You just speak to loads of like football Twitter people,
Yeah.
lads or girls, whatever. But you speak to more normal fans, I guess you'd say, older fans. But yeah, you just interact and just be nice to each other, I guess.
Yeah, I love Twitter. I do, but sometimes I do find myself like deleting the app for a couple of days because it can get mental on there, can't it? So I go on there so much. It's one of them, but it's addictive. But it is class, and no idea where it's going to go. But for football, Twitter in general, majority is good, but I think little bits of it are bad, aren't they?
Yeah, definitely.
Especially for that Spencer FC to bring it up. He seems like the nicest man in the bloody world. Did you hear about that when he said he got started on in a cage in an away game? He got started on with his missus because obviously he does YouTube and that.
Yeah.
And basically the lad like cowered down. He got stuck up for himself. There's like 6 lads. Matt, you got to listen to that. Jack Mate's happy how it is.
Really yeah, I definitely will. Yeah.
Yeah, it's quality. Right, and another thing I want to talk about: old versus young again. Remember we spoke about this last year, and I'm in the middle. So older generation clinging on to the old times. Like I'm gutted Jota's going because I get attached to players. Seeing Fletcher was brilliant and things like that, but it's this. I saw you have a little bit of an argument with that Melbourne Wolf bloke. He's quite an older fella.
Yeah, older bloke. Yeah.
Yeah, so like he's like when this was ages ago, so it might not be that relevant now. But it was when we didn't sign anybody. And the older people are like trust Fosun, trust Jeff Shee, and rightly so. I was pretty much on your side with this one because you got to question where was the transfer activity. Do you know what I mean? Here and now, where Wolves are, people from not all of them, but people from the old generation don't like you questioning the club, do they? It's so mad.
Exactly. Yeah, but in my opinion, if you're not going to question the club, who is?
Yeah.
Like we're the fans. Like we are the club. Like. So if the club are messing about, I'm not saying they are, but like if the club were messing about, if we're not there to question them, no one else will. Like no one will. So it's kind of like with the whole not signing players until the last couple of weeks of the window and stuff. I can only speak for myself, but I get irritated because it's kind of like Nuno wants to bed them in. Okay, he wants to bed them in, so get them in 2 weeks earlier than you do. If you know what I'm saying, that's why it kind of gets like irritating a bit. But sorry, go on.
No, it's okay, mate. I didn't mean to put you in there.
It's just I do get the point of like trusting them, and we do trust them, but with the whole Vallejo and Catrone, that didn't go well, and then only Pedence being brought in January, there was a kind of like, is this really gonna go well, or is it just is it gonna be the same as last year? And all of us as fans want the best for the club, and we want to succeed. It's just like. We obviously have different views in the way like we want them to recruit and do their business and stuff.
Yeah, definitely. It is the old thing what we said last time. Some people like appreciate where we are a bit too much and don't want to criticise the club right now because where we've come from. But at the end of the day, we've got owners with huge amounts of money, and we're going forward, aren't we? So we sometimes get stick for it on the 77 Club podcast, like when we because we had that one episode after we lost to Arsenal, Sheffield United, and we like. Went tits basically saying we've lost our chance at the top 4 and that, and some fans listen to that and they're like, how dare you like appreciate where we are, but we've got to try and shake this small club mentality in a way, haven't we?
Exactly, because that's the whole point. That's why Folsom are here. They want us to be in the top 6, in the top 4, eventually the champions. If we don't have the same mentality as them, what's the point? Like we need to be here. We need to be screaming for like new players, expensive players, just the same way that, you see, like, we're talking about football Twitter. You see the United fans, how they almost harass, like, United and Woodward. Yeah. And I know United and Wolves are not on the same level. They have so much more money. They're so much bigger. But the point of both clubs and their fans, they want their teams to be better. They want to progress up the table. Why do we have to be any different? Like, well, why do we? Yeah, we've got the money to back us. Do it, kind of thing. Like, yeah.
Yeah, I think it's like we said last year. It's the fast rise, isn't it? It's the fast rise, and I think some fans are like, bloody hell, I'm not used to this. Us flying up the table as quick as we are. But yeah, and I think that what don't help as well is they really keep the cards close to their chest, don't they, Fosun and Jeff Sheen? That like when that picture dropped of Fabio Silva on the Saturday, he just all of a sudden just started kicking off out of nowhere, didn't it? And I'm glad we signed him because he might not go on to do anything, but the fact they're willing to pay 35 million for him shows their ambition, doesn't it? And I think that's why Nuno signed the new contract as well. Because I think he knows that their ambition's there, but the future is bright, and it's still a process that's going to keep going. I think where the fans are split. You look at social media; it literally is a flip of a coin, isn't it? It's the difference in opinion. It's crazy, but hopefully we bring some more players in, and hopefully, but we do get brought together. When the Fabio Silva stuff and that started happening, the fans start to get happy again. But then we lose 1-0 to Stoke. Then you got the old fans going, "Oh, it doesn't matter. Let's concentrate on the league." And then you got people like me and you or whatever saying, "Well, I want a trophy." Do you think we want a major trophy, don't we? Really, like, it's good to get knocked out. Do you think we're going to go for the FA Cup?
Will we go? That's the thing. Well, we could, but the last time we tried that, I didn't.
Oh man, don't remind me.
Yeah, no, I think we definitely can, and I'm assuming we'll add some more to the squad over the next couple of weeks. I hope so, at least. And our second string side is hardly weak, is it? Any like right now? So why not? Why not go for it? And
yeah, I think the fact Nuno started, like we mentioned earlier, started quite a strong team against Stoke means he probably did want to go for it. And we'd have had Gillingham next. He's gutting, like, thinking about it now because he could have gone through, but I hope he does. Anyway, mate, next thing I want to talk about here is what. Because I know you watch a lot of stuff. I see sometimes you mention it on your Twitter and that. What sort of like football YouTube do you watch? Like, do you watch a lot of people? Like, do you watch a various amount of football YouTubers and that?
Yeah, loads. I watch like Elliot Hackney, like he was talking about the True
yeah, he's good, isn't he? Yeah.
Yeah, if you know James Lawrence Alcott, I don't know if you know him.
Yeah, I do. Yeah.
Yeah. Loads Football Daily. You know them kind of like ranking channels and HRTC and lots. I watch
What's your
loads.
opinion on? I always bring him up. What's your opinion on Choose Your Oddie? Do you like him?
See, what happened was back in the day when he was doing the whole was it the weekend roundups and stuff where he was drinking a beer and stuff.
Oh, mate, hilarious! That's when I first found it. To be fair, hilarious.
Yeah, exactly the same. And that was proper like raw True Geordie. And then obviously I think, then he got famous, got into a bit of money. Then I thought he was a bit of an arse.
Yeah.
Then,
yeah.
And now he's, okay.
I agree with that, mate. I do, but I think because I like him so much, I kind of stay loyal. But do you know? I think the big problem that happened with him, although I absolutely love the podcast and I wouldn't change it, I think Lawrence changed him a lot. The co-host, because when he first started doing the podcast, he was raw. He was like he had no filter and that. He's still a bit like that now, but I think Lawrence has calmed him down a lot because he was getting into a lot of trouble, weren't he? Like he'd title videos like which Sky Sports presenter he'd bang and shit like that. I think that, and obviously the money part of it, I agree with that because he released that video, didn't he, at Christmas where he pretty much
with the McLaren and all that stuff.
Yeah, and then he got done by the tax man and things like that. But you can't beat his old, and he's deleted them all, hasn't he? He's privated all the old videos. The
really
hangover. Yeah.
Wow, yeah. No, didn't know that.
Because he's ashamed of it, basically. But that's what made him, really, isn't it? But yeah, he's my favourite. But who would you say your favourite one is then to watch on YouTube, like your favourite football channel and that?
Honestly, I'd have to say True Geordie as well. To be fair, like,
oh really?
I did
go, but you did, yeah.
So I did go off him. Yeah, exactly. I did go off him, but then he started to like roll out better content and like and I do watch the kickoff a lot. I'll like watch it whilst watching the match and stuff. So like and I do like his banter, like the nonsense that him, Rory, Lawrence, who is he? You know them like.
What do you think of Rory? What do you think of Rory? Because he gets some stick, doesn't he?
He's I mean, he talks his shit, doesn't he? Like, so like it
Yeah.
is what it is. Like
He stays loyal to
he
him though, doesn't he? True
yeah,
Geordie. He won't get him
yeah,
off.
yeah,
I like Hugh Wizzy. Hugh Wizzy's class, isn't he?
yeah, yeah. I really like him as well. I watch him a lot. Yeah,
Nah, that's mad. He has changed, and they don't do the kick off much now, do they? Either when you think about it,
yeah. Like
it's not
it
as
used to be
much as
like
it
every
used to
week,
be.
innit? But
They lost their
now it's
sponsor,
kind of
didn't they? But yeah, he's definitely the best. I do like. Do you like Spencer? I know I mentioned him earlier. Do you ever watch him back in the day? He's a bit smaller now because he does hashtag United, doesn't he? But
yeah. I watched Spencer, with the whole Wembley Cup and all that kind of stuff.
class.
Yeah, I watched all of that. And then I started watching the hashtag stuff, but then I kind of stopped and
Same actually. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. But they're on the telly, aren't they, in the FA Cup on Monday?
Oh
Same
mate,
time
that's
as us.
class. Yeah, that's the only problem.
Yeah.
Yeah, obviously we're watching the Wolves game. What do you think of like the Wolves community YouTubers? What do you think of like watch? Because obviously I do watch songs. You could be honest, mate. If you think they're shit, you don't have to like say because I'm here. What do you think of things like that? Like obviously Dazzling Dave does it. Finners did one Thursday. What do you think of like watch-alongs on that?
I think they're class because without trying to get like soppy and like kind of like that, there might be some people out there who just don't have anyone to watch something with and stuff.
Yeah,
I feel
no,
like
that's true.
no,
Yeah.
it's cool and like just to interact with other people. Like you've seen me like I've like commented on
Yeah.
your when you've done live streams and stuff and said a few things and whatever, and just have a little laugh on that.
Mm.
And kind of like enjoy the goals together, if anything. Like
Now I really enjoy out of the things like my most enjoyable things to do on YouTube now is stuff like this. What we're doing right now, just like chatting. I've really lost the passion for the like match reviews after the game and that. I don't know why. I think it's because I'm on my own talking shit, and I really love that. I do love doing the watch-alongs. I actually really do enjoy doing them. But what do you think? Like, so the Wolves community in general, who do you watch? You like Finners and things like that? And I always say Finners
yeah,
because they're top dog, and he and Dave are talking Wolves.
yeah. Well, Finn because it's funny. Him always mentioning Raul Jimenez in his.
Nah, he admits that. He's fair play to him.
Yeah. Now Finn talking Wolves, obviously with Matt and Dave and all them. Yourselves, obviously the 77 club. Sorry, yeah,
Mm.
obviously. Every week I tune in.
I
Yeah,
know
that's it. Really,
you're a big fan of Fancast as well, yeah. We won't go into that, don't worry. But nah, I love it, mate. Watch along, because obviously I do watch along. The amount of stick I get, mate, is unreal. Off my own mates as well, because obviously a lot of people think it's cringe as fuck, obviously.
Yeah.
But I just love doing it. Fuck it. We're only here for a visit, every mate. Fuck it. Anyway, on YouTube, one last thing I want to talk to you about, because I know you do like boxing, don't you? You're a big fan.
yeah, yeah,
We've
yeah.
got to talk about Floyd Mayweather versus Logan Paul. What was your thoughts when you first saw that drop, mate?
Honestly, before it being Logan Paul and Mayweather, I was like, who the fuck is sanctioning this? Because
Oh,
Logan
no.
Paul's like 6'2" and Mayweather's about 5'6" or something like that. Like, what if it is legit? That's what's frazzled me. I'm like, how is this even allowed? Because one swing, I know like Mayweather's like one of the best at dodging, weaving and stuff,
Yeah.
but Logan's
Massive.
a huge man. Exactly, he's massive. So yeah, that was my first thought, and after that, I was kind of like, money wise, I guess I understand it, but otherwise, I think it's a bit stupid. Isn't it?
It's
Yeah.
boxing now. I don't know what's happening to it. It's becoming a bit of a joke, isn't it? I was all on board with the McGregor Mayweather, and a lot of people hated that in the boxing community. But
Yeah.
I even at one point was starting to believe McGregor was going to chin him, but I was stupid at that. But I've just got the Mike Tyson Roy Jones Jr. exhibition. But this, mate, like you say, the size difference. Mayweather probably could go 12 rounds without getting hit if he wanted to because he's that skillful, but still, it's just so stupid, isn't it? Logan Paul's had one fight against KSI in the pro ranks. Couldn't beat him, and KSI's smaller than Logan Paul. I think it might be Mayweather being really clever. He always seems to keep his name relevant, doesn't he, Mayweather? He always finds a way of keeping... Because he fought in... was it Japan or somewhere?
And I was literally about to say that. Yeah, he
Yeah.
made his 40, 50 million or even more, whatever he made, and done his boy and then got out. It was
money-making machine, isn't he?
Exactly.
Literally, that's his name, isn't it? But Logan Paul, I don't know, it's win-win for him as well, isn't it? Because he'll boost his profile, probably get a lot of money for it. Because I know his brother's fighting a basketball player on that Mike Tyson undercard, isn't he?
Yeah. He's meant to be.
As much as I criticise it though, mate, I'll always buy and watch it. It's just, that's what it's like, isn't it? You can criticise till the hills come home, but I know for a fact I'll be watching it.
Yeah, see, I was the same. I bought the first one, KSI versus Joe Weller.
Same, mate. Yeah, that was free, wasn't it? But I brought was it the first KSI Logan was pay-per-view, wasn't it?
Sorry, that's exactly what I meant. Sorry, I meant
Yeah.
KSI. That's the one that I bought. Yeah. and it was good. Like I can't even like. Obviously, it was as good as you'd expect it to be because they're not exactly pros, are they? So like,
Mate, I
it
agree because the layout. Because I listened to a podcast with their management team, and he just said to the arena, "Can you lay out the seats just like Eddie Earn does for Matchroom?" And you could tell, couldn't
yeah,
you, the setup?
yeah.
And I loved it, mate. I know it is what it is, and I know for the boxing community who don't really watch YouTube really shit on it, didn't they? But they don't know the characters. I think a lot of the thing with boxing. I don't mind if two lads are on a similar level and just go at it. I don't like they were, but it's the personalities you get invested in it. You get invested in the personalities, and you really want one of them to win. I really wanted Joe Weller to win the first one, and he like completely bottled it,
Same,
didn't he?
same, exactly. He had all that pad work, all them cool
Yeah.
videos of him like smacking up the pads and the heavy bags, but when it actually came to it, he just bottled it.
His head went, didn't it? I think he just froze on the stage. But I hope he does it again because he keeps saying he might fight again. And then I wanted KSI to beat Logan. And that was a draw. But Logan in the first fight looked class, didn't he? He actually looked all right in the first one. He was jabbing well. He's got gassed out.
Yeah, he's a bit of a specimen to be fair. So like,
mate.
fair play to him. Like he's a big bloke, and he did wrestling, didn't he? So
yeah.
When it comes to actually like scrapping someone, well, wrestling's different, but you know what I mean. Coming 1-on-1 against someone, like I praise KSI to be fair for actually like putting in the work.
He's got some balls on him, I swear. Because going in against a lad way bigger than him, and I think Logan had to come down in weight. He had to go up in weight. Obviously against Joey, he was the bigger lad, wasn't he? KSI taught in height wise, but fair play to him. But yeah, mate, Logan v Mayweather, absolutely mental. Predictions? Can't believe I'm asking that.
Both get sparked out by each other.
Yeah, imagine. I'm assuming that would be. I don't know what they couldn't do 12 rounds. Surely, Logan Paul struggled to last 26. I think obviously Mayweather would win. I think obviously, but I don't know.
It's a bit of it's just a joke. Maybe 6 rounds, 3 minutes each, maybe something like that. I'm not sure.
Yeah, it'd probably be that. But anyway, if they want to make money, fair play to them. Shiv, that's me, mate. I've spoke out everything I want to speak about. Thank you for coming on, mate. Really enjoyed it. Hope you enjoyed it too. Might do this again in a year's time before the Man City game. So where people can find you on Twitter, I've got your name on the screen. It's at Shiv Goes Again, isn't it?
Yeah, and again. Because I keep getting
Twitter's quite. If you're swearing that, they get they ban your account, don't they?
Yeah, and the older fans have an ump with me, so.
Class, mate. Right, cheers for that, and catch you all next video.